So what is success and how do you achieve it? That's what we're going to discuss today. Being the owner of a Tesla, a lot of people assume that I'm wealthy. Though I'm not a millionaire, my life is very successful. And so we're going to discuss that today. What is success? How do you judge it? How do you achieve it? And there are many differences in the way people view success. And I'm no different. I have my own specific definition of success and what I'm looking to achieve out of life. So stick around and watch through to the end. I think you guys will get a kick out of this and it'll spark some good conversation. Good morning, everyone. So today's topic, how to be a success. First, I want to start off by saying that I'm not a millionaire. This is not a video about financial success only, although finances play a part. But success can be defined in a number of ways. Personally, I define success in my own mind as exceeding beyond the norm or succeeding beyond the norm in whatever category you're looking at. So in that, you've got a number of different areas of life that you're continually striving forward in. I'm sure most people, in fact, many of you may have this plaque on your wall that says the important things of life are your faith, your family, and your friends. Well, my philosophy on succeeding and on being a success is sort of taking that principle and expanding it. I would say there aren't 3 F's, there's 5 F's. There's faith, family, friends, your fitness, and your finances. So any of those areas are areas that you can succeed or fail at. Now the first 3 are primarily relational. The last 2 are more task. Let me explain what I mean by that. So your faith, your family, and your friends, those are areas that aren't so much task. Those are personal. Those are personal aspects within you that you strive toward deepening those areas of your life for personal fulfillment as well as to please others around you. And your fitness and your finances are more goal-oriented. And so, for instance, with your fitness, you can be at the gym and maybe you want to be able to keep your heart rate at a given level for a specific period of time. That might be 120 beats a minute for 40 minutes, or you want to be able to run a 4-minute mile, or you want to be able to run a marathon, or you want to be able to bench press 300 pounds, or whatever it is. Your fitness can be very much goal-oriented. Finances are that way. You're goal-oriented in finances, typically. Most people, when they hear the word success, they only think about finances. Oh, how to be a success, how to make millions of dollars. Well, that is one category, and I know a number of people that are very, very successful in that category. I'm not a millionaire, but I do pretty well financially. I'm fine. And so, but that's only one area of my life. An overarching principle for me personally is balance. So I don't want to succeed in one area of my life to the detriment of all other areas. Some areas are much more important and critical than others. And I would actually personally put my finances, I don't want to say at the bottom of the list, but probably near the bottom of the list. Being a relational person and being alive for 47 years at this point, I'm beginning to recognize that those first 3, faith, family, and friends, carry more weight in my life than my finances and my fitness. Now, I would even put my fitness above my finances, partly because I can't succeed financially without being physically fit. At least not. It's easier to succeed in other areas of your life when your fitness level is good. I lost 42 pounds, this was about 6 years ago, and a lot of that was because my wife has some health challenges. Our finances up to that point were kind of rough. We were just pulling out of them, and I began to recognize that I need to be healthy to be able to better provide for my family. I have 3 children. Now, my oldest 2 are adults and they're out of the house. And then I still have a 15-year-old at home. We homeschool our kids, so my wife, her task has always been to care for the home and school the kids. She quit her job in order to do that, and then she developed some health issues. So whether or not she can go back into the job market is a big question mark for us. So for me, I knew that I needed to be the provider, so I had to focus on finances. But I also began to realize that my fitness level, my health was declining. Just because of poor health choices and different things. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I've never done drugs or anything like that, but just I was overweight, eating poor food, not exercising as much as I should. So I decided to turn all that around and focus on my fitness more. We are a family of faith, and I'm not going to get into a religion discussion, but it's important to us, so that's something I did not want to neglect. My marriage is very important to me, as is my relationship with my kids. My wife and I got married at, we were 21 and 22 years old at the time. We've only ever been married to each other. We're still married, happily married, but that took a lot of work. So this is not a video about, the 5 simple steps to, making millions or whatever. This is a video about how to take those 5 important core categories in your life and succeeding at them. Now, there are no simple, there's no simple 1-step or 2-step or 3-step process to becoming successful in any area of your life. There's one overarching principle in success, and that is that this can be spread over any category in your life, and that it's not easy. So anybody that tells you that if you read a book or watch a video or read an article that says, 5 simple steps to success, there's no such thing. The words simple and success are at opposite ends of the universe from each other. So here's after all that introduction, here is my take on being successful. And again, this is not just financial success, although you can apply it there. It's any of those 5 categories: faith, family, friends, finances, and fitness. Number 1, hard work. It's not that you cannot be successful with hard work, but it is extremely rare. And generally, success that occurs apart from hard work is generally hard work somebody else put in and bestowed upon you. So finances, you may be able to inherit money, but that was somebody else's work and they gave it to you. Maybe you are married to somebody that is a giver. They give. So even though you're, excuse the expression, a lazy bum in your marriage, if your spouse is giving, you may still have a decent marriage. Generally it takes 2, but I'm just saying that you can have a limited amount of success by somebody else's effort, but all success, period, requires effort, and a huge amount of it. And you get out what you put in. Now, your fitness, that's all on you, with the exception of some people are genetically a little bit more gifted than others. But if you neglect your body, your health will decline. If you work hard on your fitness, your overall health will go up. And everyone's at different starting points. That's another principle, is that everyone's at a different starting point. Somebody may come from affluence, so earning money may be easier for them. Some people are more relational, so their relationships might come a little bit easier to them because they're pouring in. Some people are born with very solid genetics, and so they don't have any genetic diseases or anything. So achieving a high level of fitness isn't quite as much effort. So again, hard work, extreme hard work. So you've got dedication, You've got duration, number of hours. You've also got commitment. No relationship will succeed without commitment. No financial success will be achieved and will continue without commitment. So you've got hard work, commitment. Now, commitment and dedication aren't necessarily the same things, although they are very related. Dedication, well, commitment means I'm committed to this process and I will never leave it. Dedication is I'm never going to leave it and I'm going to work hard at it. So, and then on top of that is taking risk. Now, taking risk is exactly what it sounds like. And with finances, you can take some risk with an investment. But with all these areas, you can take risk, but the greater the risk, the greater the potential reward, but the greater the potential failure also. So you may want to invest money in a higher yield but higher risk vehicle or stock or whatever it is. You may go, well, this stock has an annual yield of 12%, but it's a high risk stock. Well, the same can be said for a relationship. I proposed to my wife just a few weeks after we met. We met and were married 6 months later. I took a risk that, number one, she was going to say yes, which, sidebar, she actually said no. We did get married, but she initially said no. Long story to that, but no risk, no reward, really. So I took a risk in proposing when I did. We also, as a couple, took a risk by, once she said yes, by getting married 6 months after we met. But the reward has been high. Not that we haven't been been without challenges or whatever, but I took a risk in proposing early. We took a risk in getting married young and without being together very long, but the reward has been quite good. For one thing, we started a family young. I'm 47. I've got a 23-year-old daughter that's been married for over a year. She graduated extremely high, one of the top couple people in her class, has a great job, doing wonderfully. I have a 20-year-old son that moved out at 18. He's a hard worker. He's been a manager at a restaurant. Now he's got multiple part-time jobs stacked up. He's a hard worker, and he's been providing for himself since he was 18. I've got a 15-year-old still at home that's doing well in school and well-liked. I've never had rebellion with any of my kids. Well, a lot of that, or well, probably the bulk of that, is our dedication as parents. And we sacrificed a lot. I was unwilling to work crazy hours when they were little. I had to at times and in certain ways just because we were starting out, but I could have worked far more and I chose not to. I decided to go to all of their events, all of the piano recitals and dance classes and ball games and all of that. And that was a sacrifice on our finances, but it was for the betterment of our kids. When my wife developed some health issues, I was forced, now that generated a lot of medical bills, so I was then forced to balance how many hours do I work to pay the medical bills that were legitimately there. Sorry if there's glare, the sun's coming up there, but I had to balance, do I work a ton of hours to pay all the medical bills, or do I work fewer hours, know that some of the bills will take longer to get paid? We've never avoided paying a bill, they've all been paid, but do I work more and pay the bills quicker? Do I work less and help my wife more and pay the bills later? What do I do? So I chose to work just enough to cover just what we needed and then take the rest of my time and devote it to my wife, who was requiring a lot of my time over about a 15-year span, and many of those health issues are still present, though they don't require as much of my direct time anymore. So that brings me back to balance. You've got a large number of hours to be devoted for success. You've got dedication. You've got commitment. You've got risk. I'm self-employed. I've had numerous small businesses. I have a couple small businesses right now. I've had a couple partnerships. I have one partnership right now in a rental property. I've had success in partnerships and I've had failure in partnerships. But I have chosen not to be wildly financially successful because my marriage and my kids come first, and my health. What does it profit me to be worth $50 million and die young because my health has been in the toilet because all I did was work? You have to look for that balance. So I would say that you think of somebody successful. What do you think of when you hear success? People watching this video, Elon Musk will come to mind immediately. The guy's had a couple failed marriages though, so he's a success financially. Oh, wildly successful financially. The guy is brilliant. He really is. However, he has not been successful in relationships. Now, for some people, that's what they care about. Their financial success. More power to them if that's their goal. That's not my goal. My goal is to be well-rounded. And if you take time away from any one given category, then in order to be successful in another, then that category that you took time away from, your success level will diminish. So of those 5 categories, and there are other subcategories, but those are the 5 major ones: faith, family, friends, finances, and fitness. Those are the 5 major categories in your life. If you want to be well-rounded in all 5 of those categories, then that means that you cannot put 100% of your effort into each of those. You only are 100% of a person. 24 hours in a day is 100% of your time. So you really can only put 20% of yourself into each of those categories, or so it seems. There is a level of multitasking. For instance, for me to strive to pay the bills does help my marriage, because I don't want to be a lazy bum and put stress on my wife by having bills we can't pay. She handles our personal finances, I handle the business finances. So if I say to her, sorry, I didn't work hard this week. I know we have $800 of bills or $1,200 of bills or whatever, due today, but here's $500, that's all I worked. Well, that's going to put a strain on our marriage as well. So working hard does help the marriage. Also, if my wife is very patient and understanding with me, and my relational tank is being filled, I can work harder or work smarter to succeed better financially because our relationship is strong. So one does feed off the other. But what I can tell you is you cannot put 100% of yourself into 5 separate categories. Each one does uphold the other or uplift the other, but only to a limited extent. So I've had a number of multimillionaires that have partnered with me in the past because they see something in me, only to later have the partnership dissolve, always on good terms, but have the partnership dissolve because I wasn't willing to work 100-hour work weeks and sacrifice my family in order to quadruple my income that year and then double it the next year and keep going up. Wasn't willing to do that. And so, I would say the older I get and the more wisdom that I acquire, and by the way, I'm not nearly as wise as I hope to be, but I'm kind of like the man in the wheelchair missing both legs who's an expert in minefields. I have blown off each leg by making stupid decisions, rhetorically speaking. I have worked too many hours and seen my family life suffer. I have put too much effort into other things and seen my fitness level drop, and then my health was suffering. So I have made poor choices, and I have put money where it shouldn't have been put and lost it. So I've made bad decisions, but because I've made those bad decisions, I know, like the expert in the minefield, once you blow off a leg, don't step there. So I'm not naturally wise. I have just screwed up enough to know where not to step. And the older I get, and the more wisdom that I acquire, again, much of which is from making poor choices, the more, I would say, the more importance I put on overall balance, rather than purely trying to succeed in one area. And that brings me to another point, and that is that efficiency is super important to me. And mainly because efficiency reduces waste, and waste is something that you don't want in any area of your life. And waste can be present in any of those categories. So for instance, right now I'm on my way to a client. And sidebar also, all of these videos are shot by me going to a client's home. Or all of the monologue videos are shot on the way to a client's home. Now, my tow charging videos and other videos like that are purely, I'm setting aside time just for the video. But right now I'm on the way to a client's house. I'll be to his home in 17 minutes at 8:13 a.m. Well, if I'm already going to be in my car, I'm already killing time for work, I may as well reclaim or redeem that time and make these videos to increase my overall productivity. So that is an efficiency thing. Now, my wife loves shopping, and it can be shopping for anything. She loves it if I go with her to the grocery store. Well, if I already need to go to the hardware store and, go to Ace Hardware and go to Menards and go to these other places for some of the projects I'm working on, and my wife says, we need to get milk and we need to get bottled water and we need to get bread and we need to get other things from the grocery store, then I may say to her, well, I need to run a couple of errands myself. And she'll go, okay, we'll run errands together. Well, that together time, we do a lot of our important talking in the car. So now we are running errands together, but we're also talking about some critical important things in our lives during that time. So that's efficient. In my business, I'm an outgoing person, but I am actually by nature an introvert. That's probably shocking because of how much I talk, but I'm actually an introvert. I just happen to be a communicative introvert. I forced myself out of my introvert shell when I was in my teens. But as an introvert, I need time alone. The difference between an introvert and an extrovert, an introvert may be talkative and chatty, but they need to be alone to recharge. An extrovert is recharged through interaction. For an introvert, interaction actually drains them, whereas solitude recharges them. With an extrovert, interaction charges them up, while being alone too much will drain them. Although I will say every introvert needs some interaction and every extrovert needs some solitude. But when I was younger, I was an introvert. I forced myself out of that, but that means I still need my solitude. So I get up early and I'll spend time, I mentioned faith as a category. I'll spend time praying. I will spend time thinking about things for the day, but I'm also doing paperwork for my business. I'm inventorying things for my business when I get up early. And my wife is more of an evening person, so she'll sleep in late. So when I get up early, I'm the only one that's up. So that's when I get some of those other things accomplished while I have solitude. I drive 5 hours a day. I love the solitude. But I love visiting with people when I'm at a client's home. So, all of that is wrapped around be efficient. I bought this car because I drive 40,000+ miles a year, 40 to 50,000 miles a year. This thing is super efficient. Even though it was expensive, the efficiency of this car pays for it. On top of that, I can make videos on this car and earn a little bit of revenue on my channel. The car is about 90% paid for off of revenue from the channel. It's also covered in the 54 cent per mile tax deduction. So it was efficient for me to buy this car. It's efficient for me to live in a smaller townhome rather than a freestanding house. We make almost double payments. We make 80% additional payment on our mortgage. Why? Because it is saving us $152,000 in interest. Heck, that's a brand new fully loaded Model X. I mean, it's, you know, or a used Ferrari. You know, it is amazing what you can do by looking at different categories of your life and making adjustments. Now, also, when I get home from doing my normal 9-to-5 job, I will then sit down with my wife and son. We play wordscapes, my wife on her cell phone, and we pass the phone around, and I can't get this word, and you know, we do that together. I will sit down while she's making dinner or she's doing something else, and I will edit videos and upload them. I do that in that otherwise downtime. I get to physically relax with my feet up in the recliner with my laptop on my lap editing videos. To me, that is efficient. So again, efficiency. Sorry guys, I'm turning a corner here and the sun's going to be right in the camera. Sorry about that. But anyway, I'll probably do a part 2 of this video just because this is a very, very important topic. But in closing, I want to just sort of recap that to be a success in any given area requires dedication, commitment, and hard work. A lot of hours put in, which goes along with the hard work. And there are also other things I mentioned, taking risk. Your level of intellect can play a part. There are a lot of other components to this, but this is just a foundation that I wanted to lay for you guys. So those of you that are younger or that have made poor choices and really want to know how to succeed in any given area, these are the basic tools. And again, I'm not a millionaire. Why is that? Because I've chosen not to be focused on money. I've chosen to be focused on all of those 5 categories and to be well-rounded and balanced in my life. If I wanted to, I could focus more effort on my faith or on my family or on my fitness and, you know, be a bodybuilder or something, but my finances would suffer or, you know, whatever. So I want to be well-rounded. Anyway, thanks guys. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe. If you plan on buying a new Tesla, go ahead and use my referral code. There'll be a link in the description below. And as always, have a great day. I'll see you on the flip side with the next video. And I'm excited to finish out the year. I'm on track to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. You guys can help me do that. Go ahead and click that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.